Chelsea Football Club once again find itself in that familiar space where there is noise everywhere and there is no clarity. And then you begin to ask yourself what's really going on at the club. So much transfers, news, protests here and there, manager changes, players unrest, rumors flying from Paris to Nottingham, and a fan base split between patience and protest. And yet again, in the middle of all this, Liam Rosenior is trying to build something. So today I want to talk through everything we know, everything we think we know, and most importantly, what actually makes sense. This won't be blind defense of the club because they've earned criticism, but it also won't be a reactionary rage. So let's just go right into it because there's a lot to cover here. So let's start with the first one, which is according to Fabrizio Romano, Facundo Buonanotte has gone on to join Leeds United. And honestly, guys, this was overdue. Let's just say it for what it is. Buonanotte joining Chelsea in the first place wasn't a smart recruitment. It was panic buying. It was not necessary and it was a needless recruitment. It didn't feel an urgent squad need. Neither did it have a clear pathway, it wasn't physically or tactically ready for the Premier League's intensity. Chelsea just hijacked the deal without a plan and now they're quietly correcting it. Leeds are going to be getting a good player for their level because it's not rubbish, yeah. Players or past players like Tevez and the rest have actually gone on to laud his talent and potential again, which was what I believe Chelsea went for when they were trying to when they recruited him. Players like that have lauded his talent and all that, but then again, it's not it the talent is not enough, and it didn't do well at Chelsea. Okay, so Leeds gets good player for their level. Buonanotte is going to be able to get good minutes and development, and Chelsea get to free up space. So this is one of those moves where everyone wins because this mistake is being undone, and that for me is the right thing to do because Chelsea need fewer collection signings and more purposeful squad building. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Words are failing me. Okay, and then we'll move on to the next one, which is very important because this is where it gets uncomfortable. Chelsea are suddenly looking for an experienced centre back, prioritizing someone who can play out from the back. Names like Senesai of Bournemouth, whose contract is running down and who's out of contract at the end of the summer, is being looked at. Also, players like Jeremy Jacquet from Rennes and Jacobo Ramon of Como are being looked at. And let me ask this question, okay? So why now? Okay, because Enzo Maresca asked for exact same thing. He wanted experience, a defensive organizer, and someone to stabilize the back line. And the club said no. The reason they said no was because they didn't want to block the pathway of Joshua Chiempong. And fast forward to a few months, Maresca is gone, and suddenly the club sees the need to get a new centre back, an experience at that. And if this is not reactive leadership, I don't know what is. Because let's be fair, yeah, Rosenior does need a centre back who's calm under pressure, especially with his build up philosophy. But then again, this just raises serious questions about decision making consistency, whether managers are backed only after they are gone, and this is where the fans feel more frustrated. You also have players whose contracts are running down at the end of the summer. Players like Magui of Crystal Palace. You also have an ex-Chelsea player who's Antonio Rudiger, who's playing for Real Madrid. His contract runs is out of contract at the end of the summer, and this person knows Chelsea like the back of his head, and will be able to fit right even into the squad. He will not even need so much time adjusting to life at Chelsea. Okay, so if we're going to go for experience, I think these are players that Chelsea can go for right now, and it won't even cost a arm and leg because players out of contract don't need to they don't need only need sign on bonus or bonus fee or whatever it's called, and then have the contract negotiated, and that's all. We're not paying any money to any club whatsoever. So if Chelsea want to get experienced players, these are players that Chelsea should go for. I mean, would make sense. Which leads me to uh, Manchester City, who's proven to be a very, very ambitious club. According to Fabrizio Romano, Man City have advanced in talks with Maguire and Crystal Palace, and it looks like they're going to be getting their player in January. I might not necessarily have to wait till the end of the season to get Maguire. That's how serious, ambitious clubs operate. And this is not me saying that Senesa is a bad player or is not. He's Premier League proven. He knows the Premier League. He knows the pace and intensity and the demands of the Premier League. But what about the other ones? Oh, Jaquet, and Jacobo Ramon. They will also need time to bed it and all. This is not me saying that they are bad players and all that, but these are players for the future. Again, are they going to be ready? Are they going to be able to meet up with the requirements and demands of the Premier League? That's the thing for me. Then we have Liam Rosenior, according to Nizar Kinsella, confirming that Liam Rosenior is not offering any guarantees to Sanchez or any other player. That every player need to will have to earn their spot, and for me that's only fair. We got to see Sanchez against Arsenal, and Sanchez fluffed it twice. Ended up giving two goals to Arsenal on the platter effortlessly. Needless mistakes. So it's only fair that both of them get to fight for it fairly. No politics, no favorite, no automatic status. Sanchez cost Chelsea points, and Rosino is making it clear performance gets to decide this one. And that's a cultural reset. And when you combine that with West Ham showing interest in Jorgensen and Chelsea saying no, it just tells you something that they will get to compete against each other. No chaos, at least to the end of the summer, before where we have Mike Penders back in the club, and then who's going to be number one? We'll get to find out. And then next we talk about Romeo Lavia. According to Liam Rosenior, Romeo Lavia is back on the pitch. He's up, not with the group, but is progressing. And I actually like the way Rosenior is actually. Man is going to be a very good politician if he was in politics. He's just come out to not give a particular return date for Romeo Lavia, and actually, I agree with this one because it's only best we will get to the bottom of Romeo Lavia's injury once and for all. No timeline to return, no pressure, and no rushed returns. Because when Lavia is fit, it solves multiple midfield problems. It balances Enzo, and it protects the backline. When we have Romeo Lavia, we tend to see the best of Chelsea, especially in the midfield area. Chelsea have not done themselves right trying to rush players back, and we pay the price for it. And this time they're choosing the long-term availability over short-term desperation, and that's a rare bit of restraint for me because we are really, really under pressure. And I hope that even though he's on the grass and all that, it doesn't take so long before he returns to the group. And then we'll also address the big elephant in the room. According to news outlets, PSG are interested in Enzo Fernández. Enzo Fernández as well is also apparently considering his future as a Chelsea player. But Chelsea's stance is clear. they are not going to sell Enzo Fernandez below what they paid for him, and that's well over £100 million. And importantly, it doesn't go to say that Enzo Fernandez is unhappy at Chelsea. The reports of unrest are completely off the mark and they are false. He's comfortable under Rosenior, he's enjoying the system, and he feels central to everything. Plus the fact that the club relies on his leadership skills in the Chelsea group. So it remains to be seen who's going to be leaving. Are we going to be losing Romeo Lavia, or we're going to be losing Enzo Fernandez, or are we going to be losing both of them? Because Chelsea are monitoring Elliot Anderson, and they also appreciate Kobe Meno and Adam Wharton. And I've also made contact with representative of Elliot Anderson, and at the same time, PSG's interest in Enzo Fernandez does really, really exist as a replacement for Fabian Ruiz, but nothing is advanced yet, and Chelsea would only act if a huge offer comes in. I can only say this because if anyone is going to leave Chelsea, it's going to be around the midfield, because Enzo Fernandez is someone that is being liked by both Real Madrid and PSG. So it's not going to be a fire sale. It's going to be, it is, for now, I just believe that it's contingency planning. And that's smart. Clubs at this level also, and always have to have parallel plans. What matters is this, that Chelsea are not actively pushing Enzo Fernandez out, and that's the most important thing for me. And then we'll get to talk about the relationship between Liam Rosenior and the players. Because one of the most telling updates is that players were frustrated under Enzo Maresca. And I'm only just saying this not to have a dig at Enzo Maresca. I'm just saying, according to this is another thing. All these reports didn't come out when Enzo Maresca was in charge at Chelsea. Only came out when Enzo Maresca left. And it just goes to just put this narrative out there for me, or what I feel is out there, or what I think it is that they're only just trying to put dirt on Enzo Maresca. But in the end, we'll get to find out the real truth on the long run, because I believe that when the time is right, Enzo Maresca will come out and say his own side of the story. Okay, so according to reports, players were frustrated under Enzo Maresca, and this doesn't. Enzo Maresca was at times very, very stubborn, no plan B and all that, and there was so much handbrakes on key players like Palmer, even other important players that would wreak havoc, players that did not need the handbrake on them. Wasn't necessarily tactical, but relationary, rather. So Rosenior has continuously held individual meetings, asked players how they feel, clarified roles, and reconnected with the squad emotionally, and also come out to say that players will respect him if he respects them. And it's a two-way street, but then doesn't mean that you should condescend below your position as the head coach, because then when there's too much familiarity, and then the respect is out the window. Okay, but then players that feeling happy and having a good time with Liam Rosenior is a very, very good thing. Okay, and that matters more than we fans realize, because when you're happy, when you're in a good environment, that's when you get to do your best. Okay, you don't build culture with press conferences, you build it with conversations. And the early signs suggest that the players are buying into what Liam Rosenior is trying to sell to them. And I will talk about the fan protest and Rosenior's response. He said it was calm and is not dismissing fans' feelings. He's not trying to lecture them. He said winning games is what's best for the club, and I'm glad that he's not shied away from the truth. Fans are protesting because they care, and managers win games because they must. Those two things don't have a clash. But the burden is on the pitch, and Rosenior knows it. So the protest on its own is very important by and it's happening, like I said, on Saturday at 1 p.m. before the game against Brentford at the Bridge. Chelsea need to come out. We fans need to come out in mass and let our feelings out. We need to let those up know that the strategy is not working. It is only drawing the club backwards. And they need to listen to us. Abramovich did listen to the fans. And that's why we're a success story. We're a success story for nearly 2 decades and more. Because clearly Chelsea are still a club searching for alignment. We still do not understand our direction. Some decisions feel reactive, some feel overdue, and some feel encouraging. But for the first time in a while, a coach is empowered. Recruitment is being discussed with him. And players' communications feel healthier. Is everything fixed? No. Is everything broken? No. But we need to ensure that it doesn't have to get completely broken before we realize that there is a big problem. It's a fragile reset. And if it's not done correctly, it can go either ways. Let me know what you guys think about everything I've said in the comment section below. I really want to hear from you guys, your thoughts. Don't forget to like this video and don't forget to share, because it's the only way, like I always say, to help this channel grow. Most importantly, don't forget to turn on your notification bell, because I'll be here to give you guys my second video of the day, and that's going to be covering my Chelsea predicted lineup and goal prediction for the game against Brentford and tomorrow's game against Brentford at the Bridge. So don't forget make sure you check out this space, and like I said, turn on your notification bell. It'll only take you a few seconds, a split second actually. If there's anything else that comes up between now and then, I'll be here to share with you guys. But until then, it's Chelsea first and rivals next. Peace.